Hey everybody, Bob Downey here. Want to talk to you a little bit about punching matted vegetation and a little bit about the setup that I've been using for about the last year or so now. We've got a rod that is going to be available here to the public this fall. Just came out with this particular model in the Victory series from St. Croix. We've had 8 models that have been out since earlier this spring. We've now filled out the Victory series with 25 different models. This is one of the newer ones that's just come out, going to be available to the public here this fall. It's the 7.6 heavy, moderate fast power flipping rod from Victory. I use this rod particularly when I'm using an ounce or more tungsten weight to punch matted vegetation, or if I'm flipping into hard stem cover. And what I mean by that is lily pads, bulrushes, pencil reeds, same thing, or cattails. That heavier cover where you really need to get that fish's head turned up and coming towards you right away. This heavy power is a great backbone to get that fish up and out, and then the moderate fast tip is going to allow you to be able to flip a little bit more accurately with a softer tip. And also when you go to set that hook, you're not going to blow that weight in the hook out of the fish's mouth. You don't really want a broomstick when you're flipping matted vegetation necessarily. So that rod has been really good for that. It's got a real cool handle, real comfortable. It's got a slim down cork compared to what St. Croix has had historically. It feels real good in hand. It's just been a real joy to fish with the last year or so. I used it down on Gunnersville last fall when I finished 6th down there in the Elite Series. We couldn't really talk about the rod at the time, but now's a good time to talk about it. We got we're kind of in our prime punching season here up here in the Midwest, and it's only going to get better as we get into September. That some of the weeds are going to start dying off, floating up, drifting into that hard stem cover. You get these little, like, what I call micro mats. It's just dead weed matter that's floated into lily pads, bulrushes, cattails, docks, and these mats are no bigger than your boat. And you get a warm afternoon in the fall, those fish really get up underneath those, and it can just be a ball, punching those little micro mats here in late August into about the end of September up here in the Midwest. So we're getting into prime punching season here. My setup, on the business end here is I use a VMC 4/0 heavy duty flipping hook, just a straight shank hook that I've actually really come to like here in the last year or so. Just a standard 1 ounce tungsten weight, bobber stop, and then either 50 or 65 pound braid, depending on the cover that I'm fishing. This is Suffix 131 braid. It's real slick, real round. It's real quiet. It comes through your guides quietly, and it's going to go in and out of that matted vegetation or hard stem cover real quietly too, so you can be a little bit more stealthy. For my baits, I really use 3 baits, and just use them based on the conditions in that particular day or the scenario that I'm in. First is Reaction Innovation Spicy Beaver. It's got a real heavy kick to it. I'm going to use this maybe when the fish are a little bit more active, or I've got a little more breeze and I can get away with a bigger bait that throws off a little bit more vibration. This standard 420 beaver, if I want a bigger profile but I don't want the kick necessarily, maybe you're under calmer conditions, or you want maybe a little softer entry, I'm going to go with the standard 420. And then a little quiet bait that I don't talk about much is the Smalley beaver for punching mats. This little guy, it can be really deadly under pressured situations or under real calm conditions. Down on Gunnersville last fall, after I'd fished this area for 2 days, I went to this, on the 3rd day I went to this smaller one, real calm conditions, highly pressured fish, and I was able to put some good fish in the boat, including a 7-pounder last fall in Gunnersville. So if you guys are looking for kind of a little sneaky punch bait, check out the Smalley beaver. I probably shouldn't even be telling you guys that, but maybe it'll work for you. It's a real good one, guys. But punching mats, one of my favorite things to do in the fall. It just for me, it just doesn't get any better than it. I always have a punching rig set up. This particular rod I've been really pleased with the last year. We can talk about it now. It's coming out soon. We're in that prime punching season here in the Midwest. So check these things out for your setup, you guys, for punching. I think it's going to help you put more fish in the boat this fall and just enjoy your time on the water that much more. That's it, you guys. We'll talk to you soon, and take care.